Eamon, back to you. You've had a few moments to reflect on what we all witnessed. These are the folks that are going to get infrastructure done?
Yeah, Scott, it doesn't look very productive here in Washington, D.C. when you see these scenes unfolding here at the White House on the driveway just behind me. Look, here are the politics of this. You saw the incoming Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, use the phrase Trump shutdown, I think about 4 times just now. Clearly, the Democratic strategy here is to pin a shutdown, the blame for a shutdown on the president. You saw Chuck Schumer there suggesting that the president openly admitted he wants a shutdown in their Oval Office session. That's what the Democrats are trying to do. What the president is trying to do is to pin the blame on loose border security on the Democrats, saying that they want loose security and they want more crime in this country. So both sides trying to pin some political blame on the other in very, very blunt terms here. So we saw this exchange back and forth in which Chuck Schumer, to the president's face, talked about the idea that the president has not been telling the truth. Here's that moment.
Chuck, did you want to say something?
Yeah, here's what I want to say. We have a lot of disagreements here. The Washington Post today gave you a whole lot of Pinocchios because they say you constantly misstate how much the wall is built, how much of the wall is built, and how much is there. But that's not the point here. We have a disagreement about the wall, whether it's effective or whatever. Not on border security, but on the wall. We do not want to shut down the government. You have called 20 times to shut down the government. You say, I want to shut down the government. We don't. We want to come to an agreement. If we can't come to an agreement, we have solutions that will pass the House and Senate right now and will not shut down the government, and that's what we're urging you to do. Not threaten to shut down the government because let me just finish, because you can't get your way.
The last time you shut it down, you got killed.
Let me say something, Mr. President. You just say my way or we'll shut down the government. We have a proposal that Democrats and Republicans will support to do a CR that will not shut down the government. We urge you to take it.
And if it's not good border security, I won't take it.
It is very good border security.
And if it's not good border security, I won't take it.
It's what the
Because when you look at these numbers of the effectiveness of our border security, and when you look at the job that we're doing with our military...
You just said it is effective.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, you just said it's
effective.
effective.
Without a wall, these are only areas where you have the walls.
We want to do
where
this.
you have walls, Chuck, it's effective. Where you don't have walls, it is not effective.
Yeah.
Let's call a halt to this. We've come in here as the first
And
branch
the
of
Democrats
government.
sparring in the Oval Office. Chuck Schumer there doing what I was just talking about, trying to pin the blame for a government shutdown on the president, saying he's called for it 20 times. He's the person who's leading up to a government shutdown coming up after December 21st. Now, there was another exchange here about border security, both sides disagreeing fundamentally on what's needed here at the border. Take a listen.
We need border security. The wall is a part of border security. You can't have very good border security without the wall.
That's simply not true.
Just
that is a political promise. Border security is a way to effectively honor our
And
responsibility.
the experts say you can do border security without a wall, which is wasteful and doesn't solve the problem.
It totally solves
But
the
I don't
problem.
want to take this.
And it's very important.
This has spiraled downward.
So, Scott, there you see some of the squabbling inside the Oval Office, but you're exactly right to point out that between the Oval Office meeting that we saw on camera and the 2 Democratic leaders we saw in the driveway, there was a period of time, about 20 minutes or so, if I check the clock, in which they were behind the scenes with the president and made a proposal to the president to avoid this shutdown. We have the Democratic side of that proposal. What we haven't heard yet is what the White House side of that conversation is, and what the White House will say was agreed to or not agreed to in that conversation. So we need to hear a little bit more from this administration on whether they are going to accept this offer or not, or whether it's back to square one here. But there was some negotiating that took place off camera too, despite all of the stuff that we saw on camera here today, Scott.